Watch fans, welcome back. Today, we're going to be looking at a Rolex that many people have not seen before and they feel is breaking a lot of rules. And I think that the design team for Rolex has done a fantastic job on this. And we're going to dive a little bit deeper into actually what's going on when we look at that Rolex Oyster Perpetual that has recently been released that does indicate 100 years. Now with this watch, it's going to be something a little bit different. A lot of people are looking at the watch and they're seeing the 100 years, and it does not normally have that where you would actually have the Swiss made actually listed below inside of print. And Rolex broke the rule. This year it's not there for this particular watch, and it is for a reason and purpose. We're actually celebrating 100 years of the Oyster case. Now, the Oyster case is a huge deal because that is something that is actually patented and registered to Rolex, not something that afterwards they actually added in and then took the opportunity to patent or to cover, but this is something that was created specifically for Rolex themselves. Now, the fluted bezel is one of those things that they did later patent, so you did not see a lot of people using them anymore, whereas originally you had Omega using that same thing and a few other brands. Well, with the Oyster case, that is specific to Rolex. That's actually one of those things that is trademarked and is what makes that watch to be what we call swim proof. We do not necessarily use the terms waterproof, more so swim proof. And the reason being is Rolex is actually one of those brands, well, Rolex and Tudor, because of that Oyster case, who can say waterproof, but you don't really hear that terminology just because that can be a little fine line and it's easy to overstep or to create some problems for yourself court-wise. Well, Rolex is a little smarter than that and has invested a lot more into it. For this particular watch, having that 100 years there, celebrating that Oyster case, I think they did a fantastic job of. And a lot of people are going, okay, well, we also broke the rules of having an 18 karat gold crown as well as an 18 karat gold bezel on a stainless steel piece with no gold in the center links. Well, that has its purpose too, because not only is Rolex actually celebrating 100 years of the Oyster case, but a lot of people don't know that silently Rolex is also celebrating 60 years of the Oyster Perpetual. Now, you may actually Google and see that it will say things from like the mid 1950s. Well, that is absolutely true. Things were done a little bit different back then, and you would kind of release things slowly and kind of test them out. But when you would actually have the engine turned bezel on a stainless steel piece that was an Oyster Perpetual would put us right about this time frame. And so that 2026, celebrating it for those amount of years, that is definitely one of these pieces that pays homage to the history of the culture of Rolex overall. And they did a fantastic job in doing it with that slate great dial. And then you also have that Rolex green accent on there. It really pops. It gives this piece something that's very unique and very different while still maintaining simplicity. The OP collection was always supposed to be extremely simple. I really enjoy it too because it's one of those watches that you can actually just pick up and go. No need to keep it a watch winder unless you just absolutely would like to. But I actually like the fact that you can pick this watch up and you can do it the way the tradition was meant to be for watches before they became automatics and we began to look at things and see how accurate they were. And I always tell all of you guys, when you are talking about a watch and you're talking about a watch of this quality and caliber, please do yourself a favor. Separate it from your quartz. Separate it from looking at your iPhone or your Android or whatever the case may be, because these things were made before electricity was popular. So don't even try to compare it. Enjoy the fact that when Rolex says it's +2, -2, yeah, there may be some wavering, but as you wear the watch, it will balance itself out. Getting back to that 100 years itself and talking about the Oyster case, the Oyster case, the words oyster are actually describing the case and say that it is sealing away the movement like an oyster would actually do a pearl. Perpetual is actually talking about the motion, the ability for that watch to self-rejuvenate or for that rotor to actually swing, self-winding, and actually building up more power reserve for you as you wear the watch. Now, you do want to make sure that you understand that's for big movements. So as you make big movements or you wear that watch for about 12 hours or more during a day, yes, it's going to rejuvenate itself. It's going to rebuild that power inside of it. And that's what it is really, truly meant to be. It's not one of those things where you're going to be able to sit at a desk for 3 or 4 hours, or maybe you're just inactive and using the watch, wearing it, but it's not really getting any movement. That's not going to wind it. So if you truly want the ability to get the most out of your watch, make sure that you do make some big movements while wearing it. And again, the longer you wear it, the more likely it is to actually keep that power reserve going for you. The watch itself has been released with the smooth bezel. Now, again, that 60 years ago, when we talk about the actual gold bezel on stainless steel, that was an engine turn bezel. So for Rolex to be wise enough to say, we don't necessarily use the engine turn anymore. That's not something that's been released in a long time, quite a few years. In fact, for myself, I started selling Rolex in 2006, 2007 is when I was actually certified. And we were phasing out anything that was engine turn that was left. They were flying off the shelves because we were pushing them out the door as quickly as we could. With that smooth bezel, it does keep the watch where it is going to be more modern. And it is definitely one of those pieces that when you look at it, that smooth sleekness definitely fits when you're putting it with the Oyster bracelet as well. I feel like Rolex actually took the time on this particular watch and gave us the features and benefits that we're looking for. A modern piece with a simple gold touch that can be worn every day, very simplistic and easy to maintain. Those are the things that we're looking for when we're actually looking at a piece that we can wear and enjoy daily. And I'll tell you, for 100 years of doing this case, Rolex is also showing that since 1908, they have done a fantastic job of keeping the brand, its history, and its legacy going. And we look forward to celebrating another 100 years with Rolex here at SwissWatchExpo. But we want to know, tell us in the comments below, what is your opinion of this 134303 reference that has just been recently released from Rolex? And yes, it is here at SwissWatchExpo.